it's Haysie. How are you guys doing? Today I am prepping my Progressive Era Let's Play. I've just finished, I have two of the same building. I just finished furnishing the building, but it's 100% no CC. It's kind of bland and boring on purpose. So you guys, if you want to download it and create your own characters who renovate this, you can. Right now it's in the Spice District. I might move it to the Art District. I just kind of like the pier. So we might stay over here. But I'm getting everything prepped for my Progressive Era Let's Play that I'm hoping to start recording next week. I have no CC in my game right now because I took out my save files, my tray, and all my mods, and this patch was just monstrous. I had to end up uninstalling the EA app, reinstalling the EA app, uninstalling the Sims, reinstalling the Sims. So I kept it very vanilla. I do have all my CC, but I need to turn off tutorials like now. But we're going to create our first sim, and I'm thinking that we have like a land grab legacy. So that's kind of where my brain is going with that, and I will let you guys see who I create and tell you a little bit about them in a second. So I am going to start with Henry Landgrab, created by Bruno O. Dax, but it also says KS Sims Design. So I don't know whose it is, but I'm going to like it. And I am going to replace my household with the sim. Okay, so I got Henry Landgrab off the gallery, and I think he is going to be the father of our sim who is going to run the apartments. So I need to get him time appropriate, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is going to be Porter Landgrab. He is going to be our 19th century main household. He is going to own the apartment, and I kind of just gave him these outfits. He is a young adult. I haven't done his traits yet. But yeah, so it's the 1900s in our sim universe, our sim world. I haven't decided what the name of it is, but yeah, we are going to do the new probably landlord aspiration with him. He could be an art lover and a snob. I guess he could be squeamish too. Maybe he doesn't love art and he's ambitious or romantic. That might be fun. Squeamish is gonna suck, but I do think they deserve like one bad trait. You know what? We'll leave that for him. We'll worry about that later. But this is Porter Landgrab, and I hope you guys like him. He has no CC on. I will do CC and skin details later when I have them back in my game, but I just wanted to give you guys a little meet the cast for our first family. And this is Henry Landgrab. It is his father, so let's go ahead and set that relationship now. That's his son, and I think they're gonna have a strict dynamic, but I'm gonna save them to the gallery. Okay, so I have moved in our Progressive Era family. I will upload them to the gallery. They absolutely have no CC at all. I do kind of want to shrink his eyes a bit, but we'll see how I feel. But this is Henry. He is Henry Landgrab. So we're going to do a Landgrab Let's Play, but we're going to start in the Progressive Era while everybody else is doing more modern Let's Plays. And this is Porter Landgrab. The year is 1900 in our sim universe. They have bought this I'm going to say this is Henry's childhood home, and there was an apartment building that was built next to it. But Henry is going to buy this apartment building and turn it into apartments so he can kind of essentially be like a slumlord. We're not like looking for it to be grungy, but over time, I do think with the Progressive Era being World War One, World War Two, and like the economy of like our universe and our world going up and down, I do think it might get grungy over time and we might have to have future generations remodel it. Yeah, I'm going to say this was Henry Landgrab's childhood home, and this was an apartment building that was built next to it. And then this is a Tiffany inspired shopping store. Remember, it's the year 1900, but just to like show you guys the shopping center. But yeah, I just want to show you guys the build, and we'll get into the Let's Play later because we have to introduce you guys to all the other families. But basically, the blue building is Henry's childhood home. He has made his business. He has made his fortune in the railroad company, so he has a lot of money, but he is telling Porter that, he can't mooch off of his inheritance until he passes away, so Porter needs to make his own. But essentially Henry has brought Porter back to his childhood home and told his son that you have to create a legacy for yourself. I got my wealth through the railroad business, and yes, you will inherit it one day if you prove to be worthy. If not, I will leave it to like your cousins who are other land grabs. So what Henry has done is given Porter this little bit of land and enough money to buy this building next door, and then they have turned it into 3 apartments and a shared space, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. But it's also attached to this Tiffany's store, which maybe in future generations, or maybe if Porter gets a little bit of money saved up, he can buy this Tiffany's store and turn it into apartments, or we could just leave it as like a cool feature on the lot. I just kind of wanted to make it look like there was a retail store, even though there's not. As we know, you can't have retail attached to a rental, a residential rental. But I'll take you guys into the Tiffany store first. I'm sorry, I think my game is lagging because of the rain, because I have absolutely no mods in. But this is the Tiffany store. So this is the Tiffany store. We have counters and Tiffany lamps and tea and statues, mirrors, just fun, extravagant things that I think like people in the 19th century, which I was born in 1992. So, yes, 19th century, but remember, we're doing the years 1900 to 1950. So, and this is our sim universe. It's not this world that we live in, but I am using the American history of the 1900s as references to our timeline. But yeah, this is our Tiffany store where people probably would have bought like mirrors and lamps and gotten, extravagant things. I didn't want to go too crazy on that. It has an upstairs, but there is no stairs connecting it. It has an upstairs space that maybe we could buy in the future, but maybe we don't buy the Tiffany store. I don't really know. I wanted to leave this as room to grow, but let's head into our first home where Henry grew up before he made his fortune in the railroad business. By the way, Porter's mom and Henry's wife is dead, so that's why she's not in here. I might make her and make a ghost so we have a little bit of lore, but right now in cast, I just kind of went with something easy. But we have Tiffany windows, if you haven't noticed. I'd like to think that Henry put those in afterwards, but childhood home is very his childhood home is very modest and very 18th century going into the early 19th century. It is all like I own the entire game. Oh, this lamp is not meant to be there. I'm so sorry. Ignore this lamp for now. I'll delete that in a little bit. Mind you, it's not just like things that they would have had in the 18th century or 19th century exclusive. This is The Sims. We are limited, and I'm not using any CC. I will have CC in this build as we play, but I kind of just wanted to get it furnished and stuff like that for you guys to use, and I'm going to adjust it as I go and create my CC folder for the save file. But again, this is us entering through the front door. There's coat rack, a little place I'd like to think where his mother used to sit and knit and do needlepoint and stuff like that. We have a really old fashioned hutch right here. But yeah, I wanted this house to look like it was older than the rest of the building. So we have like a fireplace in our kitchen, a log stove. We have just like no really sitting space because they would have just had in our universe, they would have just had room for what they could, what they needed the most. We have to have a trash can in the build. So, ignore that for the immersion. But this is our kitchen. We have a basic bathroom over there. I'm not going to really show you guys the bathrooms because when I tell you these bathrooms, I think I'm experiencing lag because I have my game on ultra. So yeah, I normally don't play on ultra. I play on custom. So please ignore it not being the smoothest. But yeah, I think it looks really nice. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, I'd like to think this was Henry's childhood home growing up. It's super small, super modest. Yes, in our universe, like we have, these kind of chairs, they might have been more closer to the 1950s. But it doesn't really matter. I'm playing with The Sims and, we have to take liberties. It's not going to be 100% historically accurate, as well as I'm not playing in our universe. I'm just using our timeline as a guideline for events to happen. Oops. So when you come upstairs, there's a very tiny living space. And when I tell you guys, it is tiny, it is tiny. We just have a couch and some pictures of what the town used to look like before things started taking off. There's a little fireplace, a place to read, and that's kind of it. And then we go down this narrow hallway. When I was in New York visiting houses, that was one thing you could not escape was narrow hallways. And we have a kind of nice bathroom compared to all the other ones I made. Right here, that will be the main bathroom for this main household. And then this is what I would have assumed was Henry's mother's room, but I do think this is going to be Henry's room while he stays here to help get Porter set up. But he will not be here the whole time Porter is here, as he's probably going to be further out in the city, managing his railroads and stuff. But I did have to shrink this curtain so it wouldn't hang outside the building. But yep, it's a pretty standard room, nothing crazy. I was going to put a skill building item in here because all we have is Nana's stuff upstairs or downstairs, but I decided against it but yeah, I think Porter is going to be someone who explores the city and parties versus like, oh, I need to put a ceiling on there. But anyways, versus actually, being at home building skills. So again, we have another narrow hall. I'm so sorry, guys. I did forget to do a ceiling, so excuse that, but I'd like to think this was Henry's room growing up. He has a chaise lounge, and just like a little bed over here and a wardrobe, a little book nook for him to study. Let's, say pictures of mom and dad or grandmother or whatever. I'd like to get one of those basin bowls that CC that I can put right here where they can wash up. And then just a standard toilet and mirror and sink in here. But I did put a shower just because with the Sims, it's like really hard when they're all fighting for hygiene. So I didn't want to make that mistake. But that's our first building and where Henry grew up. Now we're going to look at the apartment building that he has bought for his son to manage and prove to him that he can inherit the railroad business from him one day. But you enter into the apartment in a shared space that has like a catch-all table, a mirror, I would say like maybe they leave notes to each other in that little book. There's room for them to sit and chat, a little breakfast nook, and a full kitchen next to a little fireplace. And that's it. Then you go upstairs to the apartment. I would say it's very minimal. It's a decent sized kitchen, nothing crazy. I do have a trash can hidden there. And I also put a full bath for them to use just in case there's like plumbing issues in their place. We have just a toilet and I did the shower thing again. So nothing fancy in those bathrooms. There's a little trash chute in this corridor and we reach our first apartment. I think this definitely looks like an old-timey New York apartment, which was the vibe I was going for. But obviously, we can't make it true to that. Now we're going to enter in our first apartment and it looks a little bigger than it is because I have us in like fisheye view. But there's an archway which is kind of being cut off, a piano, and this guy this sim, whoever lives here, loves purple, loves jazz. So the place is already kind of suited up for them. It's gonna be like they've been living here for a while, and the land grabs are the new landlords. Just so you guys can get a better view of it without the fisheye. It's super tiny. When you come in, there's like a couch, a place to sit and hit where he plays the piano probably all night long. A writing desk, a bar, because I'm sure I keep saying he, so I guess I'm going to have to make it a he. But whatever sim is our piano loving sim, it probably entertains and hosts people here in their little apartment. And we have a wardrobe, a bed, and again, the bathroom situation, I feel like, oh, did I not? Oh, I did put a sink. Good. Sink and a mirror. I try to make sure every place had a sink and a mirror so they could work on like confidence and stuff like that. But this one, so this is the bigger of the apartments. And I'm going to say that this tenant in the purple apartment has been here before the land grabs took over. but the land grabs have renovated the upstairs apartment to be 2 apartments, and they are micro and they barely have what you need in them. And I'm going to say those are kind of for our starving artists. So the first door is painted, and then behind them is the second door. There is a teeny tiny corridor here, if you can tell, but it is 100% functional. When you come in the artistic apartment, it literally is a squeeze. Land grabs are all about grabbing cash, and you know, the whole family is like they have their name land grab for a reason. But I did use bunk beds, maybe obviously not historically accurate, probably, but that's absolutely fine because I kind of wanted it to look like an artist apartment. This is the only lounger chair situation they have in the whole apartment. And then they just paint. They're like in the attic essentially. They're essentially in the attic just painting. And then they just have that tiny bathroom I was telling you guys about. It's a 4x4. So going back into the corridor, going into this apartment, the red one. So we have a purple, a pink, and a red apartment. So this one is a teeny bit bigger than the pink one. Um, you walk down their tiny hallway, and the first thing you'll see is their 4x4 bathroom. Again, a teeny tiny corridor, and they have a full size bed. Everything's kind of cramped up, and I like to think this is a writer, an inspiring best selling author in the making, and they just have their necessities. So let me just show you guys without that terrible bird's eye view. Without that terrible view, but this is the red apartment. Ignore this, okay? This is their, so you're so again, this was a bigger apartment that was cut into 2 tiny apartments. You go up the stairs, and this is the corridor. This one enters into the pink apartment. So you go up the stairs, you enter through here, and it's literally the tiniest space. They do have a functioning bathroom, a place to sit, change their clothes, a skill, and a place to sleep. Remember the share space, it has a full kitchen. So that works out. But then if you want to go to the red one, it's all the way upstairs. It has this wasted space right here. I tried really hard with these floor plans, but I was like, I am wasting so much space. Maybe I needed my stairs somewhere else, but that's an issue for the landlord to deal with later on. So that's fine. But yeah, we have this wasted space right here. We have a double bed, and I feel like this sim, even though they have to rent out a tiny apartment in the city that's basically like attic space, they still would want a full-size bed. We have a wardrobe, a clock, books. They actually do have a computer, the typewriter one, because I want them to be an author in this apartment. That is Henry's old childhood room that I showed you guys earlier, just so you guys can kind of see the layout. I do have skill building over here for gardening. Although I don't think that Porter is going to do anything like that. Maybe if he marries one day, his wife will. But yeah, so that's the layout of the upstairs. This is the layout of the purple apartment I was telling you about. It's pretty decent. I definitely do have wasted space. I could get better at that. But for now, it's fine. So we have like our little bedroom, office area, entertainment space, and where he plays his music. I don't know. I really like it. To think the people who are staying in these apartments owned by the land grabs are just artistic souls trying to make it big in the city. That's going to be our goal. There's the Tiffany store. Here's the shared space. Again, probably wasted space, but I love that I did this with the interior wall as like a feature. Um, but yeah, I think this is a good communal area. And again, this is Henry's childhood home. This is where Porter is going to be living, probably upgrading because he seems like someone who wants to live it up big. I'm sure his childhood. I'm sure the home Henry lives in now, which is Porter's childhood home, is probably a lot more bougie than this. But Henry is trying to teach Porter a lesson in humility and responsibility. So he's going to be staying over here now. Well, Porter. But yeah, so we're going to have one tenant here. We're going to have one here, even though it's a double bed, one and then another one. So 3 tenants total. we have the possibility of buying at least maybe the second floor of the Tiffany store and turning it into more space for us, for our apartments, or into more apartments, depending on how greedy Porter is and what, his future looks like. And maybe we will be buying the Tiffany store one day, depending on how um, everything works out. But yeah, that's everything for now. And I can't wait to show you guys the next one and we get this challenge started. Okay, bye guys.